What's up, y'all? I'm Frank from Morals Over Money. We down here doing haircuts in Kensington for the homeless and less fortunate. Got the brother Top Dog who sponsors the videos.
What's up, y'all? I appreciate everybody who's already reached out. It's at Top Dog Law on Instagram or www.topdoglaw.com. Tell me about your case, whether that's a car accident, slip and fall, medical malpractice, something else. I'll here to help. We'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Absolutely. Get with the brother if you're trying to get paid.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Frank. This is Morals Over Money. So today is a little bit of a different story. It's a sad story, one that needs to be told nonetheless. So I'm going to warn some of you, the content is going to be a little graphic. There's not going to be any violence, anything like that shown, but the topic is going to be graphic. It's real life. This is what people of Philly are dealing with. All right, so there were 16 people shot yesterday. Imagine that. 16 people shot on Mother's Day. 4 of the shootings were fatal. So now imagine those of us that took our wives, took our mothers, took the women of our life, that took them out to dinner, took them out to do something, took them out to celebrate them on their day. Imagine the mothers that were grieving, the mothers that got that call that their babies were dead, that their babies weren't coming home. Imagine that. I can't. Mother's Day for the rest of their lives will be ruined, will be overshadowed with the time that they got that call, right? Because believe me, they're going to remember when that call came at 4 o'clock telling them that their son was taken from them. They're going to remember that for the rest of their life. I promise you that. Every day on Mother's Day at 4 o'clock, they're going to look at the time and they're going to remember that call. It's seared in their brain. I promise you that.
What was a violent Mother's Day from start to finish.
This is one of the crime scenes we're about to show you yesterday in Kensington. Take a look at it. In total, 16 people were shot and 4 of them were killed in the gun violence on Mother's Day. All this got the attention of the city's mayor. For what he had to say, we turned out to NBC 10's Pamela Osborne at police headquarters.
The youngest person to die in those shootings was a 17-year-old boy. He was shot and killed in the city's Olney neighborhood. A 23-year-old man who was sitting beside him on a porch was also killed after being shot multiple times. There were other victims as well. 3 other people were injured in that same neighborhood in the middle of the day on Mother's Day. The violence continued from there. A total of 16 people shot in the city over a 24-hour stretch. The latest one, a triple shooting happening in Kensington just before midnight. 3 people shot there. A 27-year-old died despite efforts to save him. Now, police are asking anyone who has any information at all to give them a call. The mayor reacting to this violence over the weekend, saying it's devastating.
17 years old was one of the victims who died in this shooting today, and I actually had a chance to speak with one of the mothers of one of the victims this evening. And while she wasn't comfortable speaking with us on camera, she did tell me that her boy was killed for no good reason. Raindrops covered up teardrops on East Albana Street this afternoon as a neighborhood tried to process a brutal Mother's Day.
We heard.
You heard it all?
Yeah, I heard it all. It was bad.
Nini Smith and her friends live steps away from the scene, and the police tape and bullet casings were triggering.
I've personally been affected by gun violence, so I know it's not a good feeling. And those kids are very young, so it's ridiculous. It's bad.
Police say the 23-year-old and the 17-year-old who were killed were both shot multiple times while on their porch. Families paralyzed watching the young men carried away.
For 2 mothers to lose their sons on Mother's Day, it's too much.
Mom, you don't want to see that he got shot in the face. Mom, listen. He got shot in the face. You don't want to see that. You don't want that in your head. You don't want that in your head. They just confirmed it was him. I asked him, was it his hair twisted up and said, yeah, that's me. You don't want to see that. He got shot in his face. You don't want that in your head.
All right, so what's up, y'all? Literally since Sunday, I've made this video 20 different times, to be honest with you, because I feel like whatever that I try to say at the end of this video just doesn't fully encompass everything that death is, right? That I don't think that so many young people know how final and how definite that pulling the trigger to a gun is, right? Once you pull that trigger, you can't go back. You cannot go back. You might not even be trying to kill that person. You might be just trying to hurt them. You might be just trying to scare them. But you have no say once you pull that trigger. Fate is out of your hands. You know, they could be all right. They could go to the hospital and die from a doctor's mistake or die from an infection. And that's still your body. So I don't think people realize just how definite that death is and how final that death is. Listen, I remember back in 2004, right? I was in a penitentiary. There was a brother from Harrisburg that he was about to go home on parole. He had like 15, 20 years in for a robbery. The robbery turned into a shooting. He was getting ready to go home on parole. He was all happy. He was a young man when he came to prison. He was a teenager, all right? From the time that he was making parole, well, right around that time, the guy that he had shot ended up dying. They said that he died due to complications from getting shot 15 years ago. They said that he died due to complications from getting shot 15 years ago. So you know what they did? The sheriffs came to that prison and recharged him for that homicide. Instead of going home, they came, picked him up, and recharged him for the homicide. Imagine that. The man was expecting to go home, been in jail for 15 years, was expecting to go home, and they came up there and recharged him for that homicide. Listen, when you pull that trigger, there ain't no turning back. So just remember that. Death is death. Ain't coming back from it.